Well, hello there. Welcome to Coffee Chat number 21 with Phoenix. Today, I am giving you the update I promised about what's happening in the studio this summer. A few months back, I did in Coffee Chat number 19, I believe, I did an outline of all of the summer offerings I was going to be sending out to my families. I promised that I would update you on how they all went. A couple of them I have done many times before, and a couple of them were brand new ideas I had no idea how they would do. Now it's August, and I have an idea of how they did. So I'm going to give you sort of just an unscripted update on how they all went. One of my offerings did amazingly well, very successful, despite a mistake on my part. One of them had a pretty major hurdle, but we made it through and it all worked out. And then a couple of them, total flops, absolute total flops. So if that sounds interesting to you, grab a beverage of your choosing and let's chat. Lipstick marks and all. So let's start with the amazingly successful offering. This summer, I did the Piano Olympics with my students. The Piano Olympics is a 10-week in-studio competition that focuses on technique and theory events that the students train for with their coach/teacher. And then they prepare for a final test. They are judged, they are ranked, they get medals, and there's also a team component to it as well. So this has been, and it's no surprise because I've done this a few times in the past, actually many times now. Huge success, huge motivator for my students. They love it. All ages love it. The younger kids get more enthusiastic about it, of course. They want to know what the prizes are. They want to know what team is winning the moment they walk in the door. But like these kids, the leaps and bounds that they have made over the summer in the technique side of things and the theory side of things, it's amazing. Because these tend to be the more boring parts of learning the piano, you know, drilling all of your scales and doing those theory assignments. But because those are the more tangible parts, it works perfectly for a competition, and nothing motivates more than a competition. Now, as in past years, there's a little confusion among the youngsters about the individual medals versus the team challenge, because the team challenge is like, you got the tallies up there, and every week I'm adding tallies to whatever team they're on. The younger kids tend to think that the team challenge is the entire Piano Olympics. Like if their team loses, then that's it. So I'm trying to describe to them, like, no, the main part of the Piano Olympics is the final test. You get your own score on, scales level 1, intervals level 3, or whatever we chose together. That's where they get the gold medals in those events, or the silver medals, or the bronze, or the ribbon for the runner-up. The team challenge is just a bonus prize that I'm going to do. So I decided for the teams to do, I have like these special rainbow music ribbons. So I'm going to give them the ribbon for their achievement if they're on the winning team. And then I got a bunch of $5 value prizes. So try to get something for every age group, because I have currently, I think, age 7 to 16, 17, something like that. So I got like professional journals and pen sets and gift cards and cash and things that the older kids would like. And then, little squishmallows and stickers and chocolate, and well, who doesn't like chocolate? But just like basically a prize bucket full of stuff that's all around like $5 a piece. So each team member on the winning team will get to choose a prize from that. So if you're not familiar, I will link the toolkit down below if you want to do the Piano Olympics in your own studio. But basically, the team challenge is like every micro goal that they meet towards their event training is a point for their team. So for example, if they're doing like 1-octave scales, if they're able to play C major with the right hand alone, they get a point for their team. If they're able to do it left hand alone, point. Hands together, point. With this metronome marking, point. Memorized, point. So like each little micro goal they accomplish towards their goal of preparing for their final test is a point for their team. Anyways, I have many videos talking about this, so I will not go down this rabbit hole. But anyways, Piano Olympics, huge success, very motivating, lots of progress, everybody loves it. Now, the mistake I made was that I forgot to charge everyone for it. I charge $30 per student for the participation in the Piano Olympics. That includes all the materials. I give them their 3-ring binder with all the printed sheets, and I print them all in colors. They're nice and everything. And then the prizes and the medals and all that good stuff. Sometimes I do an award ceremony. I'm not doing that this year, but I was still going to charge them the $30 participation. And I forgot to add it to their invoices, but not a big deal. For the monthly people who pay me monthly, I just added it on to the next month and they paid me, no big deal. It was just a little bit later than I had anticipated. But the problem is a lot of my families pay in full for the entire summer. So for them, I have to send them an extra invoice or add it on to fall's invoice, depending on what they want to do. So just an extra step for me, but not a big deal. So that's the win. Next, I'll talk about the offering that is not a lost cause, but had some major hurdles that we had to get through. So this is the composition boot camp. And I think I talked about the fact that it's going to be smaller because I'm in a smaller space now. So I was planning to do 3 students in the main camp and then another 3 in a junior camp if I had enough interest, because 3 at a time is kind of like what I can accommodate in my current studio space. I have the 3 returning students signed up for the camp. Great. They've all done it before. They're pros. It's going to be great. It's happening next week, and we have changed the date of this camp 4 times. Therein lies the hurdles. So first we picked a date that I thought, or I should say a week, Monday through Friday, that I thought worked for everybody. Since there's only 3 of them, I was like, I don't care. Whenever you guys can come, I'll do it any week you want to do it. I don't have a life. So they picked a week. We had that week set. Then one of the campers got into another camp that was kind of exclusive and like a privilege to do like a fashion camp thing. So we're like, okay, we got to change it so that that camper can do her fashion week camp. So we settled on another camp week. And I heard back from one of the sets of parents and then the mom of the other student. And then one of the dads didn't hear from him. So like, okay, well, is it on for that week or is it not on for that week? But it sounded like everyone was okay with it. So we set it in stone, put it on the calendar. Then the week before that camp, the dad who hadn't gotten back to me was like, oh no, we're going to be out of town. So, I can't do that. Okay. So then I was like, okay, you guys, what week can you do? So we picked that week, and then I emailed that to the other family and they were like not getting back to me. And I think like 2 or 3 weeks passed and that family wasn't getting back to me. So finally they were like, oh yeah, we can do that week. But then I was like, can you guys do that week? Because it's actually next week. So it's kind of short notice. And they were like, oh, I don't think we can do that. Like, okay, back to the drawing board. So we settled on an August week. It was supposed to happen in June. Anyways, long story short, after many back and forth texts and emails, we have a week figured out. Hopefully everyone will be able to come. Now, about my junior camp idea. I still think this was a good idea because I had one person who was interested, but then her mom was like, no, we're not going to do it. But if I would have had a couple other students like her who've never done the camp before, a junior version of the camp would have been really cool. But there wasn't enough interest, so I didn't do it. So it really wasn't a tough decision. Moving on to the flops. I'm going to go ahead and put the junior composition camp in the flop category because I offered it, only one person was interested, and then that one person backed out anyways. So we'll call that a flop. The major flop was the brand new idea I had had. The brand new idea I had was clubs, and I thought it was a really cool idea. Clubs, different kinds of clubs, evenings where anyone could come, up to 3 people, so I can accommodate them with headphones and keyboards. You come to a club. A club is a half hour, just you sign up for whenever you can. There's practice club, which is basically like come to the studio and practice here with your headphones on. It's like guided or supervised practice, There was jazz club. So I will put together a summer jazz piece, project, lead sheet, whatever, and I will guide you, step by step. Basically, you'll come and work on that and learn a little bit about jazz throughout the summer. Composition club. So if you didn't want to do the camp, you could write a piece by coming once a week or whenever you can and putting on the headphones and working on it for a half hour. By the end of the summer, you have a piece. I thought it was a good idea. It's basically a really, really cheap lesson because if no one else shows up, then it's just me and the student. Well, I had 4 people initially sign up for the clubs, which isn't great. But I was like, okay, 2 of them were jazz, 1 of them was composition, and 1 of them was practice, which is a little unfortunate because then I can't work together with, with a group of composition club people, but that's okay. Because presumably more than one of them could show up. They could be doing different things and I'm supervising everything. It would have worked out fine. But of the 4 people who signed up for clubs, only 1 has ever attended a club. So I don't think this idea works. I wish it did. I think it's a great idea. Maybe I didn't sell it well enough. I made a whole page thing about it. I don't know. It wasn't the thing. So the 2 people that signed up, their brother and sister, for the jazz camp, they paid for it at the beginning of the summer and were on board, but never signed up for a club time. I know that this family knows how to log on to My Music Staff and sign up for things because they've done it before for cancellations and makeups. I know that they have a login. I know that they're comfortable enough to come to me if they're having an issue on that side of things. They just haven't signed up. And I've reminded them many times, remember, you guys are signed up for clubs. You could sign up for some club times. And they just haven't. So now I got to figure out what to do. Do I just refund them? I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I think I'll probably just refund them. They are lifetimers for my studio, both the kids take hour lessons and they have for 10 years. But I never really got an explanation as to why they didn't follow through. It's paid for. You just gotta show up whenever you can. I don't know. Okay, and then the 4th person, they signed up for clubs. I sent it on the invoice. And then as soon as they got the invoice, they're like, wait, no, I don't know. I don't think we want to do the clubs. So she emailed me, asked more questions about the club. She's like, when is it going to be? What are they going to be doing? I think from a standpoint of the benefit of it, I think she was on board. I think it was more a scheduling thing because this kid's in swim every single night or whatever. So I think that's what it was. And then she was like, well, I'll be working. Can we do it virtually? I'm like, yeah, we can make that work. I don't know if that would have worked or not, but I was willing to try it. In the end, she was like, I don't think I'm going to do it. Can you take it off the invoice? Yeah, sure. 4 down to 1. So my 1 student who signed up for practice club, bless her soul. She is student J with the pink heart. So she is the student who took a 2-year break and then came back to me. I have a couple full-length lessons up in the members only video library of her. Such a sweetheart. So she's been coming every so often to practice night. Now it's a little sad because it's just her and I, there's nobody else. She just comes by herself. So it's basically an additional lesson that she didn't have to pay very much for. So, but it's fine. I set up headphones for her. We do a little theory activity at the beginning. And then basically I give her just 10 minutes to just do her thing, how she would practice at home. I have her unplug the headphones and play something for me. I'm just working on stuff in the corner, trying to make it not like a lesson if I can. And so I have her play something for me and then I give her a goal. So if she played something wrong in that song, instead of saying that was wrong, I'll say, okay, give me 5 more minutes working on this piece right here. And I want you to work with metronome, or I want you to play measures 5 through 8 10 times. Or I just give her a little tangible goal, maybe have her start the next piece or whatever. So put the headphone back on and then we end with a theory worksheet or coloring sheet or something like that. So that's what I've been doing with the 1 practice club member that I have. So clubs, not a good idea apparently. Now, part of the thing is I'm working with a smaller studio here. I only have 15 students right now. So this is the smallest my studio has ever been. So even the Piano Olympics feels different this year. A lot of studio events, you got to have a certain number participating in them for them to be a thing. So that's part of it. Maybe I had too many different kinds of clubs. Maybe it wasn't clear. I feel like I'm pretty good at communicating things, but you never know. So I don't know. I'll have to rethink that for next summer. I don't know. Have you ever tried something like clubs in your studio? And if so, were you able to make it work? Anyways, let me know down in the comments how summer's been going for you. It is also about time to have a Q&A type coffee chat. So if you have any questions burning in your soul, go ahead and pop those down in the comments of this video as well. Give this video a like. Join me on another coffee chat. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you on another video on the channel very soon. Bye-bye.